Let's get this thing started. This is our first ever client interview. I'm absolutely honored to bring Peter, our one of our most recent rock stars in our in this little family of ours. And yeah, so before we just get going with everything, your experiences with us and all the story and stuff, that would be great. Thanks for letting us do this with you, Peter.
You're very welcome. Thank you, Gary.
Amazing. So yeah, before we get started, I just want you to introduce yourself a bit towards the audience. So start with who you are and what kind of company you run and who you help out.
Sure. Peter Halpin is my name. I started this business 15 years ago. It is now next month. I guess what we do is my company, Halpin Sports Sponsorship, specialize in building lasting relationships between football clubs at elite level and sponsors. So we're committed to making deals which maximize commercial value and which work for both the clubs and the businesses involved. We're very committed to providing a service which will guarantee success of any brand's campaign. And aside from the experience over the past 15 years, I also have over 20 years experience in elite football sponsorship industry. So I'm proud of that and take care of all obstacles and provide any brand with the platform to ensure that their company objectives are met within the budget that they have assigned as well. So yeah, all in all, it's a labor of love.
That's exactly I completely feel you, Peter. And looking at the people who will watch this video, how many of them do come across someone like you who has so much experience and worked with so big clubs? So it would be remiss for me if I didn't let you mention what kind of clubs you have worked with so far. Mention some names if you can.
Oh gosh, I guess one area of our testimonial that I'm very proud of is the testimonial page, which I suppose gives us that little bit of credit for delivery for clubs and for brands. And some of the names on that I'm very proud of, which include the likes of Chelsea, Inter Milan, FC Barcelona, Wolfsburg, dotted in a variety of different countries in all the top leagues. And we've delivered for a lot of top clubs at English Premier League, English Championship, Scottish Premiership, La Liga in Spain, Ligue 1 in France, Serie A in Italy, Bundesliga Germany. And in recent months, we've had clubs reach out to us from further afield in America as well as in Saudi Arabia, looking for help in securing partnerships for clubs in those countries. So we are very proud. We work hard. It is a labour of love, as I said, but I guess some of the claims to fame so far are securing deals for some of those clubs. Off the top of my head, the ones I would be quite happy with to discuss are when Leicester City won the Premier League 10 years ago. We were lucky to bring in a company called Fair FX as the official FX partner for them. Subsequent deals then followed in Spain with Alavés in Spain, front of shirt for them. Back in the UK at Premier League level again for wonderful clubs such as West Ham United, where we brought in Scope Markets, who upgraded their partnership from an official partner to the sleeve of the jersey for West Ham, which was amazing. And then we were delighted to introduce a company based in Australia who are looking for global exposure called Go Markets to Chelsea, who were wonderful to work with as well. And Go Markets signed a multi-year deal with them. So yeah, there's some of the claims to fame so far, as I said, that we've delivered for clubs. And there's lots of updated ones on our website under case studies where you can see more, and in the coming months more to be added as well. I'm confident of as well. We're currently at contract stage with a number of different clubs for a variety of sectors, I suppose, that they are looking for, not just as official partner, but also as on kit in some of the clubs, in the leagues that I've already mentioned, which is wonderful.
So in simple terms, if you are watching one of these Premier League matches and if you see all of those names of the companies which are coming on their jersey, on the football or on the stands, Peter is the one who made that happen.
I'm not the only one. I'm not going to claim that I'm the only one, but yes, some of them for sure we're very proud of, especially on the LED around the side of the pitch. And I remember a friend of mine was saying to me one day, "Wow, look at that!" And it was the LED for Go Markets, a company in Melbourne, who are wonderful people to work with, that aligned with Chelsea, and their LED. Their logo was shown on the LED, and it was quite surreal seeing the likes of Fair FX at Leicester, Markets at Chelsea, Scope Markets at West Ham, and a variety of different clubs that we have worked with, which I'm very proud of.
Nice. That's a great story. And then I remember when the first time we spoke a few months back, like on the first call, we were really talking about, like, when I heard of these football clubs, I really jumped into talking about, okay, what could be the best brands? What could be the best niches, the markets we would bring in to actually make partnerships with them? And then we went on to so many verticals. I remember, like airlines, fintech, e-com, cosmetics, global payments. That's like online trading. That's a crazy story. It's one of the best, I would say, one of the best discoveries I have had with you. Like, it was really enjoyable. But coming to the this partnership, right, Peter? So before you started with us, like, what was typically the main challenge you were having in terms of getting new brands, acquiring new brands for your partnerships?
Yeah, I guess the challenge initially was to reach out to the correct people and make sure that we're actually targeting the right people, whether they be managing director, CMO, head of marketing, even an executive. Can open doors as well in a variety of different sectors. A lot of brands, as well as football clubs, change decision makers at their club or their brand, and the fact that we have so many categories open, such as you've mentioned some of them already there, Gary, but the likes of automotive, construction and development, consumer electronics, consumer goods, financial services, as you've mentioned, whether that's fintech or online trading or money transfer, FMCG, healthcare, IT, logistics, retail, manufacturing, telecommunications. I could go on forever. But, a lot of the clubs that we work with at all levels are looking for partners in specific categories that I've mentioned, some of those that I've mentioned. And the fact that, the audience that they can assure of is quite global is really impressive as well. For example, the Premier League, as everybody knows, is the most watched football league on the planet. Reaches over 4.5 billion viewers across almost 200 countries, and it represents the pinnacle of global sport and offers unrivaled platform for ambitious brands looking to achieve powerful international impact. We're proud to represent a number of these clubs and a number of brands who are looking to align with these clubs, whether that's for on kit, be it front of shirt, sleeve of shirt, or official global partner positions across key categories. Exactly. For the in particular for the upcoming seasons, including the upcoming 26-27 season.
Nice. Yeah, so we are already preparing our front 1 year back to connect all these brands for the next season towards this club. So
the upcoming 26-27 season, a lot of clubs are I suppose well on the way to securing deals. So work would have started at least almost a year ago, as you've mentioned, and a lot of clubs can assure a brand that the reason that they should align with them, for example, at Premier League, La Liga, Serie A, all the top elite leagues that I mentioned. If you're looking for global reach and prestige, absolutely, that would be covered. If you're looking for, a powerful audience engagement, most definitely you'll get it. If you're looking for commercial growth and storytelling, digital and data-driven impact, exclusivity and category leadership, you will be assured of that. So there's lots of opportunities that we have available, and we're very confident that we can get the right fit for any brand to align with some of the most prestigious football clubs and indeed leagues throughout the world.
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't agree more. And the way you described this, the way you described your product and the people you want to reach out to, it's very, very clear exactly who we are connecting with, right? So we already know the size and nature of the companies, and we could kind of base our goals according to that, who we are reaching out to, CMO, CEO. So that's very interesting, Peter, because the next thing I would like to know is that before working with us, you mentioned that getting these brands consistently towards to have conversations with you, to connect with these clubs were a challenge. Before you started working with us, before we actually got behind you and started building this infrastructure, what were you exactly doing to get these brands? You mentioned you've been in the space for 15 years.
Yeah, we were reaching out, I suppose, manually a lot of the time through LinkedIn messaging, through cold email outreach as well, which ultimately was not working, and we seemed to be hitting many hurdles at the time. So yeah, we just needed to get a little bit of clarity, and thankfully you guys have certainly proven that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad to hear. So I know that we actually worked with you together one-on-one with building the system, and before that you mentioned that you were doing, it's not that it's completely new to you, you were doing cold calls, cold emails, you are reaching out manually on LinkedIn. And I remember you mentioned to me at that point that you had also referrals, word of mouth coming in some form of fashion, right? So not having this like consistent infrastructure that you could control, right? That could automatically get you these brands like an engine you turn on and it brings you. Not having this, how specifically it impacted your professional life and business? Why was this a need to you at this point of time?
I think at the time it was quite challenging to, continue the hard slog where we weren't seeing the results that we were craving until you put a structure in place, which was fantastic from our point of view, to ensure that things were being delivered, that we could actually engage with the brands in the variety of sectors that were available, and ensuring that we were reaching out to the correct decision makers at those brands who had a sincere interest in, looking to ensure that they could get that visibility, whether that was global or regional or digital reach and engagement with potential new business acquisitions or customers, to ensure that there was that little bit of versatility within the commercial sphere as well was very important as well.
Exactly.
And a lot of the clubs or a lot of the brands that we were reaching out to were always looking for a high impact return on investment. And that will always be the case. People will always ask for what's in it for us if we part with X amount of money to be an official partner or to be on kit at any of these clubs and some of the elite leagues that I mentioned. And we can prove that will be a return on the investment. But it was, I guess, through your help that we got what we would like to think is a very, very strong structure now that's in place that will allow us to overcome those hurdles easier than we were finding, simply because we didn't have that tight structure that we now have thanks to yourselves at Gap.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I also remember those points, like whenever we are getting some responses, I have these snapshots in front of me from email, and you are responding like, yeah, one more, keep them coming. I still remember all your messages there. And
I will always say keep them coming anyway, Gary, because there's never enough brands anyway. We will always have the opportunities with the clubs. We just need the brands, so keep them coming.
Exactly. That's sportsmanship, go-getter attitude that we all have. We do together. Yeah, this is what I like. We also build the same kind of culture within our company as well. So Peter is almost like has become part of that family. If I could extend myself and go say that. And I remember, like, every time could get these brands, like whenever Marge was actually handling your campaigns along with the people who were working with her, and then used to see inbox manager, name of those companies, and I don't know if you would like to talk about the exact names, but then every time somebody booked a call, we used to just look up what is revenue, how much revenue they made every year, and we found, damn, it's like some brands 100 million plus, 25 million plus. I think we got 6 or 7 of them, right? Peter?
Yeah, and in a variety of sectors as well, which I was, pretty chuffed with, which included, insurance, cosmetics, interior design, sectors that I had not even, I suppose thought of before, to be honest, that are ultimately looking to see what's out there. Vegan foods was another one, technology, travel platform, the list is endless, and long may that last.
Yeah, exactly. And the good thing about those campaigns is that the way it was structured is that every single vertical was having their own template, their own patterns, the way we are reaching out to
Yeah.
them. It was not like the same kind of messages. I would like to also understand a bit from you, like based on the messages that you saw that were being sent out and the response you get, what was your impression as compared to what you were having before working with us?
Yeah, I guess the message that I saw and the messages that were being sent out, they were more succinct, they were more to the point, rather than we were a little bit possibly flowery, where we were that little bit more elaborate with the message that was going out, rather than possibly short and sweet. I do understand that decision makers don't have all the time in the world to read, and perhaps that is one of the biggest points, that learning points from our side. Rather than telling people what we've done and what we can do for you, it's a case of understanding exactly what will work for the brand, rather than what has happened in the past. So short, sweet, and get to the point, rather than possibly a little elongated message that we were working on initially.
Exactly. I can imagine. And also with the short and sweet message, you have the opportunity to scale your acquisition. You can reach out to a lot of brands, you can build a big targeting list and personalize that if the amount of personalization is less every message.
Yes, I agree with you absolutely.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. All right, so that's a bit about the process and the kind of brands, and I'm super excited to continue this partnership together and seeing what we could end up with in terms of the 26-27 partnerships. In terms of the program, Peter, like the way it was structured, I know that you've already mentioned about the structure, but once you came in, your onboarding, then your building up of the infrastructure, I know that we jumped onto a couple of calls because to help you out with the technical stuff like the Calendly, the Loom, the recorder and everything. So I know that all those things happened, but overall about the program, can you comment on like maybe one or two things like that you liked the most? And that's what's your impression?
Yeah, I think the transparency, from yourself and Marge was fantastic. Everything was so simple to understand, and it was as if you can do this in your sleep, and I'm only learning how to do it properly, really, more than anything else. So from that side, how everything was so clearly identified and laid out that I could understand and make sure that this was actually going to work for us. So that made it very, very easy and obvious from my side to work with you guys.
I can imagine. And Marge is always like telling me that Peter is also working side by side with me, looking into all these messages, reviewing them, seeing everything works well or not. Like I was really glad to hear about that I could like take my fingers off the table and then she's working alongside with you. Yeah.
No, she's fantastic. Absolutely brilliant, and puts my mind at ease as well. But I think it is important as well from my side to have that input as well, and not just stand back. It's not going to work otherwise.
100%.
If we're the if we're the experts that understand sports sponsorship and how to help brands to ensure that what they're looking for from a business objective perspective within their budget is achieved, that makes absolute critical sense from our side to ensure that we are hands-on as well. And I'm sure there's no doubt that there are brands that have been approached by rights holders or agents before who have inventory to sell and try to persuade them off the merits as to why they should work with them. But we don't put any pressure on any brand, but we like to do our talking with what we've delivered so far and what we'd like to think will be delivered going forward as well. But a lot of that can be attributed to yourself and Marge in the team at Gap, because it's easy when you know how. And I find that there's definitely, huge progress that has been made from our side as a company working with yourselves.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, right? So human to human interaction at the end of the day is the best thing that works, and the way we actually carry it forward. You are also doing human to human interaction with those brands, connecting them with the clubs. So at the end of the day, over machine, human connection and emotion is the most important thing. Right.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. And speaking of the human interaction, Peter, I know that you have seen the usage of a lot of, like, say, AI tools, AI technology in your backend, developing your campaigns, enriching the leads, personalizing the messages and everything. But in terms of the overall structure, right? So it's a synergy between human and AI tools and setting that up. What would you say, like, did any part of this process, like you, and you can speak completely freely, did any part of this process make you feel that it was very mechanical, or something that is only a machine is running and nobody else is looking into it? Like, what was your overall impression on that?
No, I think from a personal perspective, starting off on the platforms, that you provide as well, just getting to know them, how to work them, it was the biggest challenge for me more than anything else. Slack, for example, is a fantastic tool, but I was never aware of Slack up until you introduced it to me. And when I got my head around working it and how to work it and where I should be putting certain messages into, then it was easy to make progress. But it was like everything else, I guess. If it's like anything new that you're learning, it takes a little while to get used to it. But I was pretty happy that it wasn't very complicated, really, once you knew exactly what you were trying to achieve. And as I said, the transparency and openness with yourselves made things much more easier in the end,
Yeah. I'm glad that you also feel that way. We also connect the same way with our clients. All right, we are almost at the end. I know that we could talk about the brands we connect with and the clubs we connect with and our process. I know we could talk about this for 2 hours, but for the matter of this conversation, I would like to end on one of my most favorite questions that I always ask to everyone. Like, let's say, like, you have someone, like there is a person, X person, who was in the same situation as you were before working with us, who are not necessarily an sports sponsorship or even a football sponsorship firm, but any sort of agencies or any sort of firms who are looking to target companies of your size, the brands that you are targeting, the like of Fairfaxes, Go Markets, Vicks, Etihad. So those kind of brands, this is not something what agencies think about every single day, right? So let's say somebody who was having that wish to target and connect with these brands and grow very fast like you are planning to. So what would you tell them? What would the first message you would give them? You could tell me one thing, you could tell me the top 3 things, up to you. But yeah, give some message for somebody who is on the fence.
I think from our side, experience is fantastic to have, and like everything else in life, once you have a little bit of experience under your belt, it's easier to ensure then that you can witness remarkable growth and expansion when you've got the right structures in place. If you've got deep industry insights, in particular, within sports sponsorship, within football sponsorship, which we specialize in. And that strategic approach is very important to ensure that you know exactly what you're doing, and I suppose that you have all the tools to ensure that you're instrumental in helping to secure sponsorship deals, however lucrative they may be, for numerous elite professional football clubs. That's really something that I'd always say. If you've got the experience behind you, once you have the structure in place, the sky is the limit.
Yeah, absolutely. So strategy, structure, and experience combined together makes the best outcome.
And I also think you have to have the passion for it as well. And from our, I suppose from my side in particular and my experience, I've always loved football as an example. So it's always wonderful to, I suppose, work within that space that you'd like to offer invaluable guidance and expertise within the sports sponsorship sector, in particular football, as I said. And there are unique challenges facing football clubs. There really are, but I believe that we have developed strategies, innovative strategies, to be fair, that are tailored to meet specific needs for brands, whether they have, one brand may have a lower budget compared to a higher budget. We can tailor to suit exactly what their needs are, and ensure then that, because of the deep understanding of what we do and what we've learned all down the years, and the fact that we understand the actual corporate landscape as well, it has allowed me and the team here to create, I suppose, synergistic partnerships that benefit all stakeholders involved, whether that's brands or clubs.
Yeah, absolutely. So at the end of the day, also passion is the one that gets you started, and then the discipline and the strategy is what you continue, right? So
absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, like, I think that I remember this quote from Denzel Washington is like, without passion, you cannot start. So something like this. I'm not exactly quoting it the way. Without passion, you cannot start. And then without consistency and discipline, you cannot finish.
Yeah, absolutely. I would agree with that entirely. And I think dedication as well to your craft. And it does help cement a reputation as well as a trusted industry leader, which we will always, and I will always strive for. And once you have that passion and you think that you're making a difference, I'm confident and proud to say that I know that the contributions that I've helped has not only transformed a number of football clubs, but also redefined and helped the landscape as a whole. And that's not being arrogant. That's just my honest opinion.
Exactly. And on that note, I would really like to say that, that this is absolutely what I agree with. And and it has been a great experience working with you. Looking forward to continuing this together for a very long time, Peter. And all in all, thanks a lot for doing this with me. We are done, and then we can close off this interview. But yeah, thanks a lot, Peter. And one last thing, if anybody does intend to connect you after this, or would want to chat with you or talk about business or anything, be it clients, be it someone who is in your place right now, or someone in your space, how can they contact you? Just so for the audience.
It's I've no problem in anybody contacting me or the team. My direct email is simply peter@halpinsportsponsorship.com. We've got a website there as well, which will give you lots of information as well about what we've done, who we are, how we work. And I'll be delighted to hear from anybody.
Perfect. So everybody knows how to contact Peter. He just shared his email on this video. And as far as I know, your LinkedIn is also very active. We worked quite a lot on that. So if they can also contact you on LinkedIn, it's just Peter
LinkedIn as well, and email, website, please don't hesitate. I'd be delighted to hear from anybody at all.
100%. Then with that being said, we end it here. We will make more videos like this in the future, and of course I would also like to make more videos with you when we have more experiences, and we would like to talk about all of the work that we have done together. And that being said, I'd like to conclude. Thanks a lot, Peter, and see you guys next time.
Thank you very much, Gary.
Okay. All right, I have stopped the video.